At Sierra, you'll always find apparel, footwear, and gear for 20 to 60% less than department and specialty store prices. But right now, it's clearance time, so you can save even more on everything you need to get active and outside. Visit your local Sierra store today.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Optimal Health Daily. Are you stuck in a dieting death spiral? Look for these warning signs by Crystal Karges of crystalkarges.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Hey there, welcome back to another weekend edition of Optimal Health Daily, where I read to you from some of the best blogs covering health, fitness, nutrition, and lots more, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. I'm going to keep this intro nice and short, so let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. Are you stuck in a dieting death spiral? Look for these warning signs by Crystal Karges of crystalkarges.com. A staggering number of individuals are dieting at any given time. Did you know that in the United States alone, over $40 billion is spent on diets and dieting products every year? This is comparable to the annual education budget spent by the U.S. federal government. Nearly 70% of those that identify as women, excluding those with actual eating disorders, are trying to lose weight. Research surveys have found that 3 out of 4 women have an unhealthy relationship with food or their bodies. What exactly is going on here? Dieting can so easily fall under the guise of being healthy, but when we take a closer look at all that dieting involves, can this really be true? The false promise of dieting. Especially during transitional and or emotionally taxing times in a person's life, this could be pregnancy, postpartum, raising children, and so on. Dieting can feel like a temporary solution, a tangible means of finding some sense of control in the midst of chaos. In a sea of nutrition overwhelm, following a diet can seem like a navigation tool that promises you will reach your destination. If you only cut out these foods and avoid these ingredients, you will find fill in the blanks. The reality is that diets are based on a false premise that reaching a certain weight or body size will lead us to a life of satisfaction. This is a lie that perpetuates the deadly diet cycle that countless individuals find themselves trapped in. It is not uncommon for someone to spend years of their life, time, effort, and even more money on failed diets, dieting products, weight loss supplements, and so on, all in the name of trying to be healthy or reach a desired weight. Sadly, these efforts are futile and only lead in a downward spiral to body dissatisfaction, self-hatred, low self-esteem, and an overall fear of food. For some, dieting can be a trigger that leads to the development of an eating disorder. Understanding the warning signs. If you have found yourself stuck in the vicious cycle of dieting, know that you are not alone. Awareness is the first step toward making any change, and understanding where you are can help you change courses on your life's journey. Look for these warning signs that might reveal if your diet is leading you into a death spiral. 1. You find yourself spending a considerable amount of time thinking about food, weight, and your body. 2. You weigh yourself frequently and or worry about weight gain. 3. You feel guilty when you break your diet rules or aren't able to follow the plan. 4. You find yourself swinging between extremes of restricting and binging. 5. You feel out of control when you eat certain foods. 6. You feel anxious at social events or places where there are foods you're not supposed to eat. 7. You avoid social functions or gatherings because of food. 8. You find that pervasive thoughts about food and your body prevent you from enjoying what's meaningful in life, like relationships, hobbies, activities you love, and so on. 9. You may feel addicted to food. 10. You find yourself jumping between different diet fads. Or 11. You feel that by reaching your goal weight, things may feel easier in life. Dieting has become the socially acceptable norm in our society, but let's be real. Dieting is only preventing you from truly thriving in life. How many precious opportunities or moments you have lost because of time focused on dieting or striving toward an unmanageable way of eating? On the surface, dieting may feel like a solution to a problem, but what if there is truly nothing wrong with your body or your weight? Maybe the real problem lies in fear-mongering ways of diet culture, where we are constantly submerged in misleading information about food, along with the lie that we will only be happy once we reach a certain weight. Finding freedom from dieting. It's time you jumped off the dieting bandwagon and learned how to really live healthfully. No diet rules, no diet books, no dieting, period. Food and eating do not have to be a scary thing. Maybe you've been a chronic dieter because you don't know anything different. Or maybe you're afraid of food outside the parameters that a diet might give you. You don't need to sacrifice your well-being for dieting any longer. Especially if you're a caregiver, chronic dieting can negatively influence how your child perceives their own body and relationship with food. Get out of the dieting death spiral today and begin a journey toward body kindness, freedom with food, and the ability to enjoy the pleasurable aspect of eating again. You just listened to the post titled, "Are You Stuck in a Dieting Death Spiral? Look for These Warning Signs" by Crystal Karges of crystalkarges.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Between my busy schedule and trying to keep up with summer plans, finding time for healthy meal prep can feel like a constant battle. Factor can help with tasty, chef-prepped meals that are dietitian approved and delivered right to your door. They make it easy to support your wellness goals with a variety of over 65 weekly meals. Plus, you can get premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp without any extra cost. They've also introduced new Mediterranean diet options, which are packed with protein and healthy fats, alongside bold, new Asian-inspired meals with flavors from China, Thailand, and more. If I wasn't already meal prepping weekly myself, it's what I'd use. Eat smart at factormeals.com/OHD50off and use code OHD50off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code OHD50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength.
Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog. Oh, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
Dr. Neal here for my commentary. Don't we often tell ourselves this? I know I've been guilty of it. When I become this, then I will be happy. I get it. I've done the same thing. But let's take weight loss as an example. What happens when you reach your weight loss goal? Will you be happy? Once you reach your weight loss goal, can you go back to eating all those foods you used to enjoy? I wish that was the case. To maintain that new body, you're going to have to maintain those new habits and that new diet. This is why we always talk about how these types of changes represent a lifestyle, not a race to the finish line, because technically there is no finish line. Once we reach our goal weight, we need to keep going. That's why it's important to think about this as a journey. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process whenever we can. Take the time to be amazed at how far you've come. Because when you do reach your weight loss goal, congratulate yourself, enjoy that moment, but that's really just the beginning of the journey. All right, that'll do it for me for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here every day. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.